Make sure you lot check out the timestamps for those of you listening to this on a replay so you can get exactly what you want. Let's get into all of this other stuff though, man. Apparently, there's talk of a warm weather training camp. There's all of these sort of things. So let's get into that. So what should we call that? Bamian / warm weather camp. Yeah, let me switch tabs. Let's get into all of this sort of stuff. This is Aubameyang's shit in general. I mean, if there's ever a route back for Aubameyang, let's see, man. There's gonna have to be a route back. Realistically, you're gonna have to use him until the end of the season, really. And if you don't bring in a striker and you discard him, that just tells me that Arteta isn't really feeling any pressure because you've got to bite the bullet, whether you like Aubameyang or not. And his form's on the floor. You've got no other strikers, and your top striker has 5 goals. Not that Aubameyang's doing much. Is Aubameyang still technically our top goal scorer? If you can't bring in Vlahovic, Aubameyang could help you get top 4. And if you're willing to throw that away because of your ego or you're fighting legitly or not, that tells me you're not under any immediate pressure because you're not playing the game properly. The good news is that Aubameyang has confirmed his medical tests have shown his heart to be absolutely fine. Respectfully, I'm trying to just scroll to the proper part. Apparently, technically, it's possible Aubameyang could have been selected for Arsenal's squad to face Liverpool. After all, Partey was used as a sub despite taking 3 flights home from Cameroon to arrive on the day. However, the 32-year-old was nowhere to be seen. He has now not appeared in a competitive game since a late substitute appearance against Everton on December the 6th. So his physical conditioning is probably on the floor. Aubameyang seems to encounter trouble at every turn. The African Cup of Nations, blah, blah, blah. The reports over his health have left Arsenal perplexed. A COVID diagnosis effectively paid to Aubameyang's AFCON, although he was largely asthmatic. I can't say that word. The Gabon Football Association stated that he, Lamena, and Tanga forward Mayer all suffered from heart liaisons. Back in London, that news came as news to Arsenal. Like all members of the squad, Aubameyang's heart was regularly tested and the club had found no issues. Communication between the Gabonese camp in Cameroon and London Coley has been less than ideal. With Arteta stating ahead of the 2-0 league semi-final defeat to Liverpool, there was not any clarity from the Gabon national team about the reasons why Oba has come back. So maybe there's some personal, someone could say it's discipline issues. They were some of the rumours. I can't lie. I big up James Nicholas, but there's a lot of jargon, and I'm not really trying to hear all of this, man. Aubameyang has returned to Arsenal as a player in limbo in 16 months since his signing of a 3-year extension. Aubameyang has endured a torrid time. His goal-scoring form has suffered. He has 14 goals in 43 Premier League appearances since December 2020, which is probably better than any other one in our squad can put together. That tells you the issue. We all know he's had off-field problems, people. We all know, again, it points towards Guendouzi and Ozil. We all know he's the highest forward player. We all know Arsenal has received an offer from the Middle East, and there's PSG and other clubs. So, yeah, man, it's brazy for Aubameyang. I can't lie. I lost interest very quickly with all of this jargon, people. I won't lie to you. It's hard to stay interested in there's just a bunch of bullshit, really. Apparently, Arsenal are going on a warm training camp as well, people. We're going to Dubai. Apparently, how long do they have off? From Burnley at home, Sunday, Wolves away, and till February the 10th. How many players around to work with? Probably more than they've had to work with of late. Aubameyang and Partey have already turned from the African Cup of Nations. It'd be interesting to see if Aubameyang's on this plane, while several other players are beginning to recover from illness or injury. Gabriel won't be around as he's been called up for Brazil's World Cup qualifier. So yeah, he won't be able to play. With the club still in the market for January signings, they might even have a new addition or 2 to bed into the squad. Arthur Melo is not part of Brazil coach Tite's latest squad, which is in part why he wants to move. What are their plans? Arsenal are planning to travel to Dubai for a warm weather training camp, but that spelt the end of Guendouzi's career in it. And it could be what we need in terms of togetherness at this point in the season. Arteta took the squad there early in his reign 2 years ago now in February, and it was overwhelmingly positive for the players and staff. Obviously, there was an argument, as we know, between Arteta and Guendouzi. It is what it is. Boy, crazy one. So, yeah, that's what Arsenal's doing. That's the boring stuff. Let's go and see what they're saying in relation to Mikel Arteta getting a new contract now. I think there's reasons to give him a new deal and reasons to not. I would start with the reasons for. If I'm honest with you, I think, long term, I'm seeing his plan. I'm seeing You know, I'm seeing him learn from his mistakes. I'm seeing a style of football. I'm seeing him try to get togetherness in the players and the fans. You know, I do like his tactics at times and stuff. There are a lot of improvements to be made, but I do like what I'm seeing from Mikel Arteta. Do like what he's doing with the young players. You know, in the same way we have a young player, we have a young manager that can grow with the squad. I am seeing a lot of these things. Better man management and game management. There's still a lot of things to improve. Mikel Arteta isn't perfect, but they're the things I do like. If I'm being a cynic now and I say the reason is not to, what's he achieved? I can't praise a manager for installing togetherness in the players. That's what you should be doing, or togetherness with the fans. I can't really. I know you have to learn from your mistakes, but I'm not going to praise you for doing things differently than you was. You know, you found a way of playing. Lo and behold, you stopped rotating the team. You found more stability with our defense. You've been a bit less of a coward, and you were cowardly last season. You've been brave, and we're going forward now. I'm not necessarily. I applaud it and I love it, but I'm not going to praise you for righting these wrongs. That's the minimum in it, really and truly. I still think, what have we achieved? Where, you know, you've won the FA Cup, but in the subsequent rounds, pissed about in the FA Cup, really and truly. I think we showed naivety in the transfer market, and that is on their due on Arteta. I still think we're relying on certain players where you know what you're going to get with people like Granit Xhaka. He's not as bad as people make out. He's not as good. You're going to be failing in that regards. You know, and I don't know how closer, you know, are we closer to getting top four on you? I really don't know. So I don't think you've really achieved anything or done anything of late. I don't really think there's enough pressure on Arteta, you know, and I think giving him a new deal, I think, you know, it ties in with what we're doing with the long term. It tells other players what we're doing, but really it could be wrong, really. And I just feel the propaganda pieces that have been afforded to Arteta because of how good he can become and potential being this big buzzword in today's day and age has seen that. But yeah, I think it's too early to talk about a new deal, respectfully. I don't think anything's been done. And in terms of warding off interest from Manchester City, I've got no doubt Mikel Arteta is going to be a great manager. But, you know, is he going to be a great manager for Arsenal Football Club or elsewhere? And a bit like we've had players here where we've persisted for years. The minute they start showing a tune, they've been sold or they've gone elsewhere. Is that what we're doing? And I have to wonder, you know, I never had to doubt Emre's integrity about wanting us to get better. I haven't had to doubt Arteta's. One has to wonder the people around him, how much do you lot want to do this thing? Because if I'm being a cynic, regardless of what Arteta feels, if there's an owner who's certified or a technical director who's certified, there might be pressure on the gaffer. Say, listen, I know you like Xhaka, but it's not levels. Or, you know, I know you like Eddie, but we need to sell, man. Or I don't know if you want a striker in the summer, we need to get that done. Or you need midfielders or whatever. I have to wonder about the moving pieces, because the days of Ferguson and Wenger are gone, people. Like, managers should be, in my opinion, the most interchangeable. You know, you should have a way of playing. If we had a way of playing, then it doesn't really matter who the manager is without reason. You know, our club needs to reflect values. The way we play, our values, all of these things can't be hinging on Arteta. There has to be certain principles in place. It's like City. City are clearly going to do things differently when Pep goes, but there's going to be certain things that stay in place. Or historically, Barcelona, I know they're not the best example, but whoever's there, you've got to play tiki-taka, regardless. So we'll see what's going on, man. I mean, it all depends, innit? It's all about the sentiment, really. Because if you asked, if this news came out in August, fans are not going to hear it now. I'm sure the Wolves are coming out for Arteta, but people got a bit more time, really. Arsenal will offer Mikel Arteta a new contract before the end of the season as the Gunners look to tie down their manager and ward off any interest Man City have in the Spaniard replacing Pep Guardiola. And I mean, is he ready to replace Pep Guardiola? Regardless of him being ingrained in the City group, how well he did with young players and all the propaganda pieces, is he ready for that level of scrutiny? Is he ready for that level of consistency? Is he ready to get, you know, he's got to a Champions League final, he didn't win it. Is he ready for that? Potential, this big buzzword in football, but allegedly Arsenal are set to offer a new 2-year contract with improved salary to Mikel Arteta. Arsenal have been impressed with the Spaniard in his first 2 seasons. There's been good, bad, and ugly. There's been many things to be impressed about, many shaky decisions. Everyone makes mistakes. Arteta's current contract at the Emirates is entering its final 12 months, and the Gunners, well, Arsenal are determined to find off interest from Man City. Arsenal are set to offer Mikel Arteta a new contract before the end of the season to prevent their manager entering the final 12 months of his deal. Club chiefs have been happy with Mikel Arteta since he replaced Unai Emery 2 years ago and are eager to retain him despite Arsenal finishing 8th in the Premier League in both his seasons in charge. Arsenal are confident they are taking major steps forward under Arteta as he builds his team around Saka and Smith Rowe and sidelines high-earning stars such as Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. But you can't praise him for that. He gave the man a new deal. Fair enough if Aubameyang's messing about, it is what it is. But We've got to talk the truth now. I do feel there's a lot of propaganda that's forwarded at Arteta's way. I do think there's a lack of balance, you know. I feel there's a lot of people who are Arteta apologists, condone all bullshit he'll ever do. I feel there's a lot of people who were never convinced with Donny, so nothing he can do is right. And then I feel there's people in the middle. In football, people are loyal to players and agendas. I only care about Arsenal Football Club. If Arteta can be the guy, great. Or is it going to be a bit like he can help us doing what he's doing now, but then maybe when he's left that foundation, you go for someone else? Because I do think if there was someone a bit more street smart, a bit more clarity, something could happen. And I know, you know, you look at Man United, they're linked with Poch, you know, Ten Hag, many other managers in it. You know, they can't get everybody. You know, surely one of these guys is going to become available. Maybe there's a decision to make. I look at Southampton. It's a poor example, but do you remember when Southampton got rid of Nigel Atkins at the time? Everyone's like, oh, what are they doing? They're deep. He's doing a good job. And they brought in Pochettino. You know, I don't think we're that club that, you know, it takes a lot for us to get rid of a manager, as you lot have seen with Wenger, with Emre, you know, when it was going the wrong way for Arteta. I don't think we're that club to say, be a bit harsh and say, you know, Arteta, you're doing your thing, but this guy's become available. He can do this, that, and the other. No hard feelings for it, my guy. Go and do your thing. I don't think we're going to do that. But if that opportunity became available, is that something for Arsenal to consider? I don't know. Anyways, scrolling all the way down, I don't think this happens to the end of this season, and I don't think it helps Arteta going through the season right now with the contract stuff or the club. Arteta's off-field leadership has impressed executives at the Emirates, with Arteta playing a key role in persuading players to take temporary pay cuts at the start of the pandemic and robustly defending the club's reputation during the rout. I mean, what Arteta has had to endure since he's obviously come to this club. I think he's going to become a way more better manager. He's jumped in the deep end. He's had to deal with salary cuts, wage cuts, Gunnosaurus, COVID, player bust ups. He's had to do a lot in it. He's had to do a lot, really and truly. And I think at times he's got to hide behind that. He's had to go through a lot. It's going to make him a good manager. But once again, a man going to be a good manager for Arsenal Football Club or elsewhere? He's doing good things, but, you know, what's going to happen there? Apparently, the 39-year-old is happy at Arsenal and will welcome the talks. Any extension would lead to an increase on his $5 million salary, with Arsenal seeking to commit Arteta to the club for 2 more years, people. I forgot to say, but apparently Arsenal are also conscious that the expiry date of Arteta's contract in the summer of 2023 coincides with Pep Guardiola's planned departure date at Man City, and continued improvement of Arsenal could see him emerge as a successor. You know, I'm not being funny, but we've done it for a couple of months. We need to do it for a year or years before we start gassing up the thing in general. So that's that with Mikel Arteta. Whether he's getting a new one or not is a completely different thing, people. Is where it is. What else have we got? What else are you lot saying, people? So that's that with Mikel Arteta, people, and his new contract allegedly. But we'll have to see. I think that should at least wait to the end of the season, personally, but it's not about what I think. I mean, he should be interested in Martinelli. He's a good player. He keeps breading him, but, you know, he's going to have to put down the money. Give us Trent Alexander-Arnold, you can have Martinelli. I can remember countless times a player, especially a striker, has had one good season or half, and another team comes in, overpays, then they're stuck with him for 5 years or sell him for 50p. If we finish outside the top 4, this extension won't make sense. Bit harsh. I think you could get an extension without finishing in the top 4, but I do think if you ain't got Europe and there's not a proper style of play and all these things, then question marks, man. Bit harsh. Would you be okay with Europa? I mean, I wouldn't be okay with it, but I'm wary of saying it's acceptable, but reality is that's the minimum. You know, we finished 8th. That's the minimum you should be getting in. You don't get no praises for that, no applause for that, but that's the minimum. We should just sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I don't know, man. Clown Teta out, bit harsh. I feel that we are jumping the gun on giving Arteta a new contract, fearing that Man City will be calling due to Pep's contract being up in 2023. Maybe that's the story. Maybe that's where it's come out, man. You are deluded, as your channel says. Thanks, Alexander. Your girlfriend knows that as well, man. That's why she loves the guy, man. What can I say, man? What can I say? Now you're sitting there going, and she heard you getting slewed. Hi, darling. I can see you laughing. Don't smirk, man. Don't smirk. Alexander might move mad. Sorry, it's not my fault, man. It's not my fault. Shout out you, Alexander. You joke, man. The way Arsenal play was getting outdated, so Arteta tweaked it. You need to stop talking with emotion. What are you talking about? Like, I've just defended Arteta. You know, I wouldn't say he has tweaked it, but do you want applause for that? I wouldn't say. Could you convincingly say Arsenal have a distinctive style of play? No. But you could draw up some fancy scribbles on the Athletic, and some of you could tell us, well, if you can't see Tomiyasu becomes a centre back out of play, then you don't understand what Arteta is doing. Until you can think of Arsenal and evidently see it, we've got a long way to go. And I'm sure Arteta is making movements. You know what you're getting with Liverpool. You know the fullbacks are flying forward. You know what the front options are doing. You know what City are about. I'd say up until a point, you knew what Tuchel was about. I mentioned Barcelona. You don't need to get any fancy scribbles to know what tiki-taka is, do you? That's the level we need to go to. So I see building blocks, but until you can show a child or show someone that doesn't care about that, boy, man said, I'm speaking with emotion and you're typing in caps. Come on, man. Come on, you sound frustrated, man. I'm sure Lacey Duval's on the next tab, man. Go and chat to her, man. Allow me, bro. I'm still screaming Jesse and Martial. I hear that. I hear that. I hear that. I hear that, man. Haaland's better than him. I mean, I'm bored of it as well, but I love speaking about it with you guys, man. We all know it's gonna end in heartbreak, but it is what it is. At least we tried FC. Again, it's dead. Arteta has proven nothing. He don't know our best 11. A bit harsh, a bit harsh. I think he's found the best 11 somewhat now. Well, to be fair with you, I'd say it isn't, because we need about 12 players. You can't play Smith Rowe and Odegaard and Martinelli and Saka. I would say the one thing for me with Arteta, I don't know if he's planned to do things or if he stumbled across things, like when he's introduced Martinelli. I think on one hand, he said Martinelli will play when the time's right. And I think that's true. But it's like he stumbled across that at points. I think we've stumbled across reintegrating Lacazette and him being the guy. We found a bit of balance with name again. Aubameyang and Lacazette together. At times, I don't know if we're actively trying to do these things, or we're just stumbling across it. Because I look back to when Lacazette was integrated. I just feel he was coming off the bench, being excited, and he didn't at them times there. He didn't want to drop Aubameyang, so that was the natural step. So I don't know if these things are planned or we're stumbling across these things. That would be the one for me. People, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Set your reminders as well. With Thingy. Arsenal versus Burnley. And obviously at 2:30, I'm going to be doing Man United versus West Ham United. We've got to see what's going on with the top 4 race and all those things, man. His ways. Man said, get Zigic. Allow it, man. Allow it, man. Allow it, man. Do you guys want Pepe to play over Saka? No, but yeah, man. Is what it is. Is Vlahovic coming or not? Call him, phone him. Our fan base is divided because of him, and he's bullied Pep, Aubameyang, and Martinelli. Our fan base is divided because of Arteta, or is it because of inconsistencies from this football club since we've moved to the Emirates and false promises? Are we going to act like respectfully to Arteta? Are we going to act like a lot of these things and question marks, even down to ownership, weren't here prior? I mean, we can think about Arteta is or isn't the guy, but what we need not do is try and beat him over the head with sticks that aren't fair in it and force agendas. We don't need to overdo it in this life. Yeah, good. Hope everyone's doing well and safe this Saturday. Big up you lot, man. Arteta looks quiet from afar, but his attitude is low-key disgusting. How do you lot know this?